Imagine how many more deals you're going to make once the tactics that you're learning here on these videos go into unconscious competence, which is you not having to think about it. And reps, when they hear all of these tactics, they get so excited, they decide to go deeper now. The greatest thing about this is the reps get so excited, they decide to get started now. And by now, we've gone through video after video of learning sales tactics to deploy amongst your customers to make it easy and effortless for them to make a decision to buy your product or your service. This is the greatest thing about the sales process is it's not pushy and there's not memorized scripts. It's tactical ways to use language and communication. And in this communication model, this is going to be an embedded command structure. An embedded command, I'm going to first tell you what this is. And by the way, I've already deployed 4 or 5 of these throughout the video as the video's gone on right now. But what I want to let you know is what an embedded command structure is. So the first thing is we have the consciousness, which is the gatekeeper inside of our mind. It's going to keep stuff out and it's going to allow stuff to come in. So if you give the consciousness the structure, or you tell the consciousness exactly a command, what happens with most people consciously? Shields go up, they get resistant, and they don't. And first of all, they don't usually act on it. Even my kids struggle to act on it. A verbal command that I give them, but most people, especially adults, when they're given a command, they're going to act. They're going to get resistant, and then pretty soon you're trying to sell something, you're trying to give someone a command, and nothing's ever taking place. And so the way that this actually works is the embedded command is going to embed inside of a sentence structure, which might or might not have anything to do with it, but it's going to give them a command so that the unconscious hears the command and takes action, and it bypasses that gatekeeper, otherwise known as the mind. The embedded command structure is things that we wouldn't say to people typically because it'll evoke resistance. The way that you're going to use and leverage these embedded commands is you're going to lower it and slower your tone and give a command. Start now, begin now, sign now, start the process now. These are some embedded commands. In fact, I run an entire course that we go deep inside of the embedded command structure. And in this video series, I'm going to give you a few of these. So start now is one of those. So I'm not saying that you're going to be super excited about this, but usually when people hear exactly what we're talking about, they start now. So I've used negation and I drew something else inside there. The tonality is the biggest part. Start now. Many people, once they hear what I have to offer, they decide to move forward now. Move forward now. Now I'm giving an embedded command. Now, I'm not telling them, hey, move forward now. If you tell someone move forward now, what happens? They dig in, they get resistance, and they're not going to move forward now. So I can use negation. I can tell most people when they hear, they get so excited, they decide to start now. This is what they decide to do. They want to start now so that they don't miss out on all of this amazing, incredible features and benefits and stuff that we went over today. So the way that you're going to be able to embed the structure, there's an entire list of embedded commands. In fact, you could use anything as an embedded command. But we're thinking about an embedded command structure. We want to segue. We want to make this an easy transition for them to buy your product or your service. So whatever needs to happen for them to be able to do that, usually they're going to have to sign, they're going to have to decide. I'm not telling you that most people decide now, but usually once they see all this stuff, it just makes sense. And they decide to move forward now. 2 different interchangeable embedded command structures inside that sentence. I remember the first time that I ever learned this. In fact, I went to a workshop, and it was this big sales workshop, and there was this guru in there, and he told us a little bit about this embedded command structure. He gave us the most obvious one that you'll ever hear, and when you hear it, you won't be able to unhear it. And he gave us this embedded command structure, but I remember being pretty nervous, which now I equate to being excited about being able to implement this on people, but I thought that if I did this, they would know what I was saying, and so I got a little bit scared. Now when I'm scared, I'm like, oh, that's just excitement, and I'm labeling it wrong. But here's the thing. I went to this appointment. It was a husband and wife. They were both professionals. I think he was an attorney. She was something else. And we sat down at the kitchen table, and I'm going through this. The solar system was about $78,000 or something like that. My presentation, just like I normally would. And I was waiting for my chance to deploy the embedded command structure, and I did it at the end. This is what I said. I said, by now, people usually see that this is in alignment with their goals and needs. And by now, you guys have seen exactly why this makes sense and how this is in alignment with your family's goals of having predictability, certainty, control, a better quality of life, haven't you? Yeah, you have. And so then we walked through the process and we transitioned. I ran their credit. We did the contract. There was absolutely no resistance. And at the end, I was like, wow, dude, it worked. And now every single time I effortlessly and easily deploy the buy now. So you get it? How I'm saying it? Buy now. I'm not saying BY, I'm saying BUY, buy now. It's the most obvious embedded command structure you could ever do. It bypasses that critical faculty and it implants that embedded command. Now, here's the other thing. If you could do it 3 times, that's going to be best. The unconscious really receives this information best when it's delivered 3 times. But you don't have to do it 3 times. You can do it once. You can do it twice. But the intent is to actually do it. You want to do it. You want to do it because it's going to get you closer to the sale. It's going to help the customer more. It's going to help the customer make a decision. It's going to help lower the buying stress that customer is going to feel because you're talking directly to the unconscious, which isn't fearful. The unconscious isn't fearful about things. It's the consciousness is fearful about things. So, by the way, I've filled this video with a ton of embedded commands. If you rewind it, maybe you'll catch some of them. I doubt you're going to be able to catch all of the embedded commands that I did inside of this video. And throughout all of these videos, I'm deploying the same tactical skills that I'm teaching at the same time. This is the next level because now I have unconscious competence. I do this stuff very naturally. I don't have to be intentional about doing it because I've done it so many times. And I guarantee if you go back and you rewind this video, you'll be like, oh, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. And you'll see the structure on exactly what I did for you, and you'll be able to deploy this on your customers. If you want more stuff too, you can always get my course. I actually go in depth on the embedded command structure so that you can deploy this easily and effortlessly for your customers and for yourself. And by the way, don't compartmentalize this. Don't be like, oh, I'm only going to try this out at work when I'm selling people. No. Every tactical skill that you've learned throughout the series is for communication. Well, what does that mean? That means you communicate this with everybody, your spouses, your wife, your husband, your kids, your friends. Try it out. How you get good at something is you just practice it. You practice it, you practice it. The mother of all skill is repetition because it seeps into the unconscious where unconscious competence rests. And so it's not about compartmentalizing your life and only doing it at work. It's about doing it everywhere. I do this with my wife. I do this with my kids. I do this with my friends. I do this at stores. I do this anywhere that I have communication with people. I do this with myself, the embedded command structure, but myself knows what I'm doing. So, it then covers exactly the embedded command structure. So the next video of this series is my favorite. You're going to learn the most incredible, amazing thing, one of the greatest stories that I've ever told. And in fact, it's going to keep you entertained. It's going to keep you engaged, and it's really going to deliver a ton of information. So you're going to want to check that out. Thank you. See you next time.